NHL 94 is one of the most beloved sports games of all time. It remains a staple of hockey culture nearly 30 years later. Now, a brand new arcade sports game from Treewood Studios, nominated in the huge potential category at Rogue Jam, is trying to skate the path blazed by this legendary sim. It's called Hockey Heroes, and it may even take things up a notch with overarching story elements and other bells and whistles. Strap on your pads and get ready to go top shelf bar down skis, because it's time to hit the rink and see if you can please the hockey gods. At its heart, Hockey Heroes is an ode to 16-bit hockey, from the stars to the feet of the players to the ability to turn blood on and off. Players with names like Crusher and Red rush up and down the rink in 3-on-3 matches, pinging off one another while fighting for control of the puck. It's a long way from a realistic simulation, but that shouldn't be a problem for hockey fans who have been starving for an arcade hockey game since the days of Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey. That makes Hockey Heroes' absurdity a virtue, providing a much-needed contrast to modern realistic hockey games. Its roster is loaded with characters like Knuckles, a massive raccoon with moose antlers, and its teams have names like the Top Cheddars. Even more so than NHL 94, Hockey Heroes is happy to lean into the ridiculous aspects of the sport, with players who frequently look like Space Jam's Monstars on ice skates. The developers further promise a story mode with beats unlocked between each match, and a plot that has something to do with hockey gods and their eternal frozen struggle. But the silly tone doesn't mean it's shallow. After all, still waters run deep, and what's stiller than ice? Every Hockey Heroes character is categorized as either a sniper, enforcer, or two-way forward with stats to match. Snipers can spike away from checks to wheel, snipe, and celly, while enforcers like Crusher, well, crush. Every player is rated based on traits such as hockey IQ, checking, shooting, and yes, fighting. What's a hockey game without a proper Donnybrook? Fights in Hockey Heroes take place in rings, with the players squaring off in the style of Rock'em Sock'em Robots. When one player goes down, they'll bleed on the ice while their opponent enjoys a brief man advantage in Hockey Heroes' version of a power play. With fighting and checking being such a big part of overall strategy, it's worth picking up an enforcer before heading into the rink. One way or another, you'll have plenty of control over how your team comes together thanks to the player draft, which takes place before each match. Want a team with all enforcers? Feel the need for speed? There's a lot of options to choose from. Given time, you will almost certainly begin to find favorite players, as each one handles differently on the ice depending on their stats. Here's a hint: Rodriguez, the goalie, is really good. It is early days for Hockey Heroes. The modes are limited, and the action tends to devolve into running into one another at the center of the ice. The graphics, gameplay, and overall options could all use more development time and polish. Still, it's clear that Hockey Heroes has huge potential as a fun but surprisingly deep arcade hockey game, and taking home the trophy at Rogue Jam, along with a $50,000 prize, could definitely give the game a boost toward getting where it needs to be. Only time will tell whether it can become the NHL 94 successor we've been wanting for 30 years, but this ridiculous hockey game already looks primed to light the lamp.